In 2022, which iPhone will be best for me? In 2022, which iPhone will be best for me? I want to buy the best iPhone in my budget. If you have these questions, then watch
Best iPhone in my budget. If you have these questions, then watch this video until the end without skipping.
Welcome you all to Net Mobile. Hope you all are well. So let's start today's videos. Apple's iPhone lineup ranges from $429 to $1,599. Watch the full video for the best iPhones to match your needs and budget. We're only a few days away from Apple's next event, so it might not be a great time to buy an iPhone.
This is just around the corner. You should probably wait and see what they offer over the current models. Though this year's new iPhones are sure to be more advanced, the slate of options currently available is still excellent phones. In fact, there's an iPhone for every budget, with prices from $429 for the iPhone Southeast to $1,599 TB of storage. Apple's iPhone lineup used to be rather simple. When Steve Jobs announced the original iPhone over 15 years ago, there was just one model and it was only available on AT&T. So if you wanted
You had in 2007 was whether you wanted 4 GB or 8 GB of storage. Much has changed in the past decade and a half. You can find an iPhone to fit most budgets and get access to features like iMessage, FaceTime, Apple Music, and iCloud. When Apple released the iPhone 13 series in 2021, I was impressed by the upgrades. The phones had new cameras, more storage, bigger batteries, and brighter screens. That doesn't mean the iPhone 13 series holds the best option for everyone, though. All the models on the market, so you can decide which iPhone model best suits your needs.
Please press the like button if you appreciate us. Miss the home button? Then check out the iPhone Southeast. Like the iPhone 13 design, but not its price. Consider last year's iPhone 12 and 12 mini. Want a small phone with good battery life? Then the iPhone 13 mini is a must. And what about the iPhone 11 from 2019? Is it still worth it? In short, yes. If you want to see the current comparison between the iPhones,
I've linked a website in the description box down below to see. Okay. To complicate your decision, some iPhones have 2 cameras, others have 3 and still, others have 4. You should also take into account that nearly every current iPhone model has to Face ID except one, the iPhone Southeast. Having a lot of options isn't bad, but it can feel overwhelming when buying a new iPhone. To help you figure out which is the best iPhone for you, I thoroughly reviewed and tested each one on this list, from their batteries to camera. I included current iPhone prices, though iPhone deals are known to happen, so don't assume your only option is paying full price. Also, this list is based on current models that Apple sells. If you're shopping around, you might notice that third-party sellers offer discontinued models, like the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max. iPhone 13. The $800 iPhone 13 is a solid upgrade and refinement on last year's iPhone 12. Some will be disappointed because it's not radically different from previous models, but that's part of its charm. Familiarity has been one of the keys to Apple's success with the iPhone. The iPhone 13 has a nearly identical squared-off design to the iPhone 12. It supports 5G and MagSafe charging. It comes with new cameras on par with the ones from last year's top-of-the-line iPhone 12 Pro Max. It also gets a larger battery that in our tests lasted 4.5 hours more on a single charge than the iPhone 12. Add in the A15 Bionic chip, a new cinematic mode that's basically a video version of portrait mode, and iOS 15, and you have an excellent phone. The iPhone 13 earned a CNET Editor's Choice Award. Also, If you activate it on a carrier, Apple drops the price to $799. iPhone 13 Pro. The $1,099 iPhone 13 Pro is the best iPhone Apple has ever made. With the latest iPhone series, Apple further defined the difference between its Pro and non-Pro phones by packing the 13 Pro with a high refresh rate display, macro photography mode, ProRes video recording, and the best cameras any iPhone has had yet. In terms of design, the 13 Pro has an elegant matte finish back and shiny stainless steel sides. Compare that to the glossy back and matte aluminum sides on the iPhone 13. The display on the 13 Pro supports what Apple calls promotion. Depending on what's being shown on the screen, the refresh rate switches between 10 Hz and 120 Hz. In use, the screen looks stellar. Animations look smooth, graphics appear crisp, and even mundane things like scrolling feed look better. It runs iOS 15 and supports 5G and MagSafe charging. Like the regular iPhone 13, the 13 Pro has an A15 Bionic chip, but get an extra GPU core that gives the phone a boost for gaming and video editing. iPhone 12 and iPhone mini. With support for 5G being its crown jewel feature, the $729 iPhone 12 marked the beginning of a new generation. Has flat, matte aluminum sides, a 6.1-inch OLED screen, and a 14 Bionic chip, and Apple's ceramic shield covering on the front to help reduce scratches and damage from drops, and it supports MagSafe charging. The iPhone 12 mini is simply a smaller version of the iPhone 12 with a 5.4-inch display and a price tag that's $100 less. The selfie, wide and ultra-wide cameras on the iPhone 12 and 12 mini are good, but definitely a step down from those on the newer iPhone 13 and 13 mini. So if your priority is a phone with the best camera possible, this isn't the best iPhone for you. If you choose to get an iPhone 12 or 12 mini and can afford to pay $50 more, I recommend upgrading from 64 gigabytes of storage to 128 gigabytes. If you activate either phone on a carrier, the price drops an additional $30. iPhone 13 mini. Who said small phones don't exist anymore? The iPhone 13 mini is brilliant because it has everything the iPhone 13 has. It's just smaller. And if you're worried about battery life, don't be. The iPhone 13 mini packs a bigger battery than last year's iPhone 12 mini. In CNET's tests, the iPhone 13 mini lasted 3.5 hours longer than the iPhone 12 mini on a single charge. It also lasted an hour longer than the full-size iPhone 12 in the same test. Remarkably, the 13 mini has nearly identical wide and ultra-wide cameras to last year's iPhone 12 Pro Max. One way you can tell is the rear cameras are positioned diagonally from each other to make room for the larger stabilized sensor. The iPhone 13 and 13 mini are the same phones, but one is small and the other isn't. That said, I only recommend you get the 13 mini for its size. It's $100 cheaper than the iPhone 13, which might be tempting if you're trying to save money. But if you aren't OK with a small phone, you might be frustrated by its size. iPhone 13 Pro Max. The first thing you should know about the $1,199 iPhone 13 Pro Max is that it has the longest battery life of any phone we've ever tested. The next thing you should know is that unlike the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max are identical in pretty much every way and even have the same cameras. In essence, they are the same phone, just different sizes. The 13 Pro Max has a 6.7-inch promotion display, while iPhone 13 Pro has a 6.1-inch one. The Max is also bigger and weighs more. Part of that extra weight comes from the 13 Pro Max's larger battery. If you can handle the size of this phone behemoth, it's the best iPhone for most situations, and it's worth every penny of its high price. If you want to watch iPhone 14 review, you can click the video which is shown over the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy this video. Subscribe to stay tuned.